Okay, so this is a movement called the springing tripod. Now, it's a progression that we're going to start off with the easiest and move to the most difficult. So this is based on CST's work, or Scott Sonnon, but what we're going to do is we're going to take it back a notch a little bit, and if you have any limitations in your spine, in your ribs, in your chest, in your neck, or in your back, this is the way to start, and then eventually incrementally sophisticate the movement and make it more challenging. So what we're going to do here to start off with is use a chair to begin, and your limitation is defined by how far you can squat down. So if you can go from standing all the way squatting all the way down with no problem, then you can start at a little bit more farther on down in this video. But if you get yourself to about here and you can't get down to the ground, which means you can't reach back down to the floor to put your hand firmly down on the ground to support by your bones or your structure, then you need to have something that you can start off with that's a little bit incrementally easier. And that's what we're going to use the chair for. So the first thing to do is test yourself and see how far you can squat down. So you start off at standing and you squat down, and if you find yourself getting to about here and I can't go any farther and I can't get down to the ground, then you got to use a chair, and that's totally fine. So this is where we'll start. We'll start sitting in a chair. We'll have both of your hands back on the sides of the chair, and what you'll do is you'll lean over towards your right hand, push your hips up towards the sky, and reach back as far as you can. So you're reaching with this arm to make your left arm long, and you're pushing your hips up and forward to arch your back as far as you can. And you don't necessarily hold it, you just stay here for a second and then come back down, sit, switch your hands over, push off of your hands, and then come back down. So the movement, eventually over time, you're going to pick it up and make it a little bit more rapid. So we're going to start in this sitting position. Place your hands comfortably, push your hips, reach back, then come back, sit, support yourself safely, switch your hands, reach back, sit and support yourself safely, reach back, and then sit and support yourself safely. So in order to do this, you've got to press down on both of your feet equally to feel like the pressure goes down through your bones into the floor, to balance out your ankle joint, to balance out the pressure on your foot. So your toes aren't turned out, your heels aren't turned out, you're not up on your toes, you're not back on your heels. You've got pretty much firm foot pressure all the way through. So one more time, pushing off and then reaching. Pushing off and reaching. Now as this gets a little bit easier, you're going to find yourself being able to squat down even farther. So then we're going to get rid of the chair and go from squatting down, and we'll find yourself getting a little bit lower, being able to put your hand back on the ground, and then pushing up, coming forward, laying back, pushing up, and then coming forward, switching your hands nice and easy back and forth. Now if you still find yourself to about here, that's okay. Put your hands down on the ground, reach back, and just change your hands from side to side. So there doesn't necessarily have to be a reach at this point. Just real easy, over the top. Feeling like you're getting your butt to sit down even farther. The next progression from that is to move so you are reaching back even farther. So you sit down, put your hand back, reach as far as you can, so you push your hips up towards the sky, reach back with your arm and hand, and change. So push and reach, and push and reach. Now we can change this progression and make it even a little bit faster. So to go from here, pushing and reaching, coming down, just to increase your speed. And then the final progression is actually to make it a little bit quicker, so you push yourself up off the ground. So starting from here, coming up, landing back down in your hand, allowing yourself to collapse and kind of rest back down on your bones. So from here, push and reach, push and collapse, push and collapse, push push, push. The farther you drive your hips up and forward, the more you come up in a standing position. So from here, push, to push, to push. So this is the swing or springing tripod progression. Something you can start off with a chair and then make it more difficult as you need be. So enjoy, let me know what you think.